Well, hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to share with you on how to make a beat using LMMS. I'm not going to be using any of the VST that comes stock with LMMS. I'm going to use some VSTs that I got from the outside or from Google. I hope that you enjoyed this video and I hope that you learned something from it. And again, let me rephrase that. It's not really how to make a beat. It's more on how I go about making a beat in LMMS. But before I start, I want to share a little something with you. There's this PDF file out there called Keyboard Master by Maurice Ellis. And he goes in detail in explaining the different scales, the diatonic scale, the major scale, and the minor scale. And then he goes into explaining a little bit about chords and how to make a chord using a mathematical formula. So like for a major chord would be 4 plus 3, and then for a minor chord would be 3 plus 4, and a diminished chord would be 3 plus 3, and then he goes on into explaining all the different ones. I would suggest for anybody starting out to get this book. It will help you out a lot, and where you can find it is in www.chordmusic.net/booklet. I went to his YouTube channel. What I did is I went into YouTube and I wrote his name, Maurice Ellis, and I'm already subscribed to his channel. I would suggest you do the same. In one of his videos in the description, he has the website. I will also have that on my description to help you out, so you could just go there and download that booklet. And let me explain to you a little bit on how this is going to help you out. All right, so when you look at LMMS, and I built here the a scale, a chord scale in the A minor. And then the way to figure out his formula is very simple. What you do is you look at the root note. Right now it's on A minor, and you start counting up, and you count including the black keys. So the root note starts always at 0, so you go 0, 1, 2, 3. Here's the number 3. Then you start from 0 again, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that makes this a minor chord. 3 plus 4 makes it a minor chord. And this one right here is a diminished chord. So let's add this up. 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 0 again, 1, 2, and 3. So 3 plus 3 equals a diminished chord. Major chord is 4 plus 3. Again, you start from 0, 0, this is the C major, C, so it'll be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you count from here again, 1, 2, 3. So 4 plus 3 equals a major chord. And then this chord scale that I have here is composed of minor, diminished, major, minor, minor, major, and major. Now, is this correct? I'm not 100% sure, but it sounds good when you put it in LMMS. So I'm going to open up my piano. And I'm gonna open up my piano, and I'm gonna find my VST here, pianos, and this one right here. Close this up. You double click in this area right here and opens up the piano roll. Now for you to figure out if you have the A minor scale, it's very simple. You go over here into no scale, click on the arrow, go down to minor, then this C, B, and A. So that's A. Now you hover over the key, you right click, and it brings you this here, and then you put mark current scale. Boom, and it marked all the scale. Now let's put all the notes here. B, C, D, E, F, and G. Now the beauty of this is that once you know this, it doesn't matter where you put it. It's still going to be a minor scale. So let's take this scale. I moved it up and it's still a minor scale, and then I put it on the C sharp. Okay? And that's what's called a chord transpose. Now let me show you another little trick that I do. I make a little staircase right here. Then I take these out. To do that, you right click and it brings the eraser and you erase these. Then to make the chords, what I do is I count up, okay, and I take away one note. So it'll be 1, don't do 2, put it on 3, skip 4, put it on 5, and do the same thing with all of them all the way up. Skip 2, 3, skip 4, 5. All right, I'm going to bring the BPMs down to 95 here. And let's take a listen to this. Sounds pretty good, right? Now, all right, so from here, after you created the chords scale here, you can move this anywhere and it's still going to sound good. So right now it's in a C sharp. Let's take a listen to this. All right, so I'm going to keep that right there. I'm going to eliminate all these lines here. To do that, you right click, go to unmark all, and it takes everything away. Now from here, we're going to create a chord progression. Okay, so for you to create a chord progression, you got to remember that they look at this as numbers. Okay, so the C sharp being number 1, the root note, then you go up the scale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I'm going to call the chord progression the 1, 4, 5. So I keep the 1, and again, to create the eraser, you right click and it has the eraser. I take away 2, I take away 3, I keep 4, I keep 5, take away 7, and I take away 8. Now I'm going to move these. I'm going to move this over, highlight this one, and I'm going to move this one over. Let's take a listen to our chord progression. I could leave it like that if you know, if I would like, but I'm going to do what is called a chord inversion. So highlight the top one, bring it down, top one, bring it down, top one, bring it down. All right, so now let's take a listen to this. And that's how I go about creating my chord progressions. I mean, I don't do the whole lengthy process anymore because I kind of know my A minor scale. But whenever I decide that I want to make a scale, I just, you know, think in my head, okay, do I want to do the 1, 4, 5, or do I want to do the 1, 6, or the 1, 4, 6, or the 1, 3, 5? I mean, any kind of chord you want to create or chord progression, you could do it that way. You can make it so it's 4 of them, and then you can move this over next to each other. I mean, you could create it in any way that you want after you learn that first A minor scale. And right now it's not an A minor, it's in C sharp, which is minor. Okay, so I'm going to put the volume down on this one a little bit. I'm going to eliminate all these extras VSTs right here. And then from here we're going to create our B. So I go into this area right here. I'm going to open this up. This is something that I downloaded from Google, and it's sound font. So to open up a sound font, you have to right click and then put open a new instrument in the song editor. And I like this kick here. So I want to sort of kind of like a slow jam. So I'm going to put the volume up here, and it's going to be very, very slow. So let's take a listen to this. All right, so to create a loop, what you do is you click on this little bow tie right here, and then the ending, to move it anywhere here, you put the arrow where you want it and you right click it. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to add to this right here. It's going to be a very slow beat. So let's take a quick listen to this again. All right, so I'm gonna make these smaller because this sound font is kind of like, it's not a long hit, it's a short hit. And I'm gonna add to this. going to bring this volume up just a tiny bit. Now let's take a listen to this again. Alright, so I added a little bit of flow to it, it doesn't sound so boring, and it adds a little bit more to the beat. Now from here, I'm going to add the bass. So I'm going to go back over here, pick up Vestige. I'm going to pick something called Tal Bass. Alright, where are you? Tal Bass line right here. And here you go. I'm going to keep the very first one. I'm not going to look through anything else. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the chord progression. Then I'm going to eliminate all the top ones, and I'm just going to keep the bottom one. It's a very simple bass line. Then control arrow down and bring that bass line down. And I'm going to open up the FX mixer and send this one into the one. So left mouse button and move up, and it brings it to the one. So I'm going to put the volume down on this because I don't want the bass to be too loud. I want it to be kind of like in the background. Let's take a listen to this. I like that, so I'm going to keep that. Alright, from here you need to add a melody. So let me choose another VST here. See if my computer will cooperate today and it won't crash. We'll find out in a second. Alright, so I'm going to choose something called Synth 1 right here. Keeping my fingers crossed. Okay, it worked out. I downloaded this pack that is called Synth 1 Trap Bank. It's pretty interesting. It has a whole bunch of different sounds, but right now I'm just going to keep that one. And I'm going to copy this top one right here. Copy it, put it here, paste it. And then I'm going to just make these all very small. You know what? I'm going to keep it at 2 and I'm going to hear it. And then I'm going to control arrow up. Alright, you don't want everything to sound in the same volume, you know what I mean? So you want to move it up the piano roll, so that way it, you know, gives it a little variation. You don't want to keep everything the same. So this one we're going to send it to the mixer as well. So open it up, send it to 2, close it up. Bring the volume down, do the same thing over here. Let's hear it. I like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy that synth and I'm gonna keep these that ghost sound that I have there. So again, I'm hoping that it doesn't crash on me. So clone this track. There you have it. Alright, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna highlight where the notes are at. Okay, because I just want everything to sound or to be where it needs to be and the same kind of notes. Okay, so I'm going to shrink this here. Pencil, and I'm going to bring it to just tiny, and then I'm just going to go like this. Go up the scale, and this is going to be my little pattern here. Let me take a listen to it. I like that, but I'm going to bring it up an octave. Okay, so that's what I was talking about earlier. You want to put them in different octave, so that way it doesn't all sound boring and all together in the same kind of tonality. So I'm going to send this one to the mixer as well. Bring it to 3. Volume is down. Bring the volume down because you want this instrument to be kind of in the background. So let's take a listen to this now. I don't know. I kind of didn't like this one, so I'm going to move this one over. And the same thing with this one. Let's hear it now. I like that. So let's take a listen to it again. So now to this, I'm going to add a clap. So I'm going to use something that already comes with LMMS, which is this clap right here. Open it up. And we're going to send this one to the mixer as well. Number 4. Put the volume down here. Put the volume down over here as well. And we're going to add the clap on the 3rd one. And don't do it here. I'm going to skip one and put it over here. And now to this clap, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an effects, which is a reverb, because I want the clap to stay long. Okay. So now I'm just going to listen to that clap. Alright, so now let's listen to this together. So to copy this, what you do is you hit Control and then the left mouse button and carry it over. And you gotta hold these buttons. Alright, so let's move the bow tie. Let's listen to this. Alright, I like that so far. And I'm going to add to this the hi-hat. Let's send this over. And let's bring this smaller here. And then what you do is you copy everything. Copy and Control arrow up. And here it is. Bring it over. Okay, so we're going to send this one to the mixer as well. Number 5. Bring the volume down on both sides here. I'm going to add a flanger to this. You go to Effects, Add Effects, Flanger, write it. I'm going to add the tail flanger. And I'm going to add the extreme one right there. Okay, so let's take a listen to this. Alright, so Control, left mouse button and carry it over. Now what I'm going to do to this is I'm going to add a crash, which is this one right here. Put it up here. I'm gonna make this long. The same thing, let's send it to the mixer. First open up the mixer, add another one, 6, there we go. Put the volume down here. Do the same thing in the mixer. Let me take a listen to it. And then you could change this here. So what you do is you go to effects, add a reverb. I always add the Cal reverb. I'm gonna leave it the way it is. Then add a flanger, add the DJ flanger right here. All right. Now let's take a listen to this. I like the way that sounds. Now, what we can do to this beat is we can make an intro. So move the piano over, move this over, which is the kick, move the bass line, just leave the synth, both synth, and let's bring all this over. Okay, so let's make this longer. And again, this is just the way that I make my beat. You can do it any way you like. All right, so now let's take a listen to this. It's going to have the intro right here, and it's going to go right into the beat. Now, if you heard, it just went right into the beat. So what you can do is you could add a little something to it to make it sound better. All right, so what I'm doing here, so I'm going to add a little roll per se. Then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to cut it in half right here. So you go into this and you make it 1/64. You cut this in half, put it there. Do the same thing with the other one. Put another one next to it. Eliminate all of this other stuff. So now when it goes from the intro, it kind of let the listener know, hey, there's something else coming that's going to be different. All right, because you want to guide your listener's ear and let them know that something is going to change here. Sort of like when you're playing the drums and you hear a regular song, you hear the drum roll and then it just changes completely, and then a whole something different comes in. So let's take a listen to this. All right, so then from here what you can do is we want the rapper or the singer to just sing without all the extra stuff. So this right here will be kind of like the hook, and then this could be so I'm gonna do it like this. I just took away the melody part of it. And then we're going to do the same thing here with this pattern. So what you do is highlight, copy, paste, just to make sure that that's the one. So let's do that one more time. Highlight, copy, go on the fourth one, paste it, and there it is. So now you just carry it over. Bring it all the way to the end. Change this back to 1/16. and take this symbol or crash, bring it over, and let's take a listen to this one more time. I forgot about my little sound font that I have over here, Lex Luthor sound pack, and I'm gonna add a hey to this. Here's the chance, and I'm gonna add it up to the second one right here. And let's send this to the mixer as well. Okay, and I'm going to go to the mixer and break the volume down again. Let's just take a listen to this part with the hey. So there you have it. That's how I go about making my beat. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something from it. If you did, please make sure to hit that button like, and also make sure to subscribe. If you like some of these different sounds that I have going on here, the VSTs, the sound fonts, and the sound pack, then you could go over to my website right here, and it's beatmakerecords.weebly.com, and then it will bring you to this page right here. You hit on subscribe, and it'll bring you to this other page. You write your name, your email address, you submit it, and immediately you will receive a list of different websites that I have gone to and I downloaded. Again, VSTs, sound packs, and sound fonts.